This week's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/DJForceX. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. This episode of the DJ Force X podcast is proudly sponsored by Fixed. Fixed is a fan and artist-friendly independent record label that specializes in hybrid electronic rock. It's home to the likes of Celduella, Blue Starly, I Will Never Be the Same, Richie Nix, The Algorithm, Voicians, See the Akira, and a whole bunch more. Check out their latest label sampler for just $1 at their official store, fixedstore.com. That's FIXT store.com. Save 10% off your first order by using my coupon code FORCEX. That's FORCEX. They have loads of shirts, hoodies, stickers, posters, and many other accessories for all their artists, and this is available worldwide with fantastic international shipping rates to go with that. So head over to fixedstore.com and check them out. And don't forget, use my coupon code FORCEX. Hello and welcome to the DJ Force X podcast, episode 59, where I welcome JT, the vocalist from the band Famous Last Words, and they've just released their new album, The Incubus, via Revival Records, and that is out now via all medium, but do check it out. It's a fantastic album. It's really strong, some great tracks on there. There's a great story running through it, and this band have the determination and the sort of the ideas to make it big as well. So yeah, hopefully they're going to skyrocket with this and do very well. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm just going to plug a couple of things. My radio show on Tuesday nights on totalrock.com, 11 p.m. UK time, that's 6 p.m. East Coast, via totalrock.com, TuneIn app. There's also a bunch of widgets on the website you can listen to it via. It also goes out on the mix.fm every Saturday at midnight. That's US East Coast time, and that is mixx.fm. That is also available by TuneIn or via their website. I think it is via the TuneIn on their website as well. But there's a bunch of stuff, and it's also on demand on mixcloud.com/DJ Force X. So all my shows are there. Do check it out if you like a bit of dance, bit of rock, like a mix show, just a constant run of music for an hour. Do tune in. Let me know what you think. Also, DJ Force X in Conversation, which is the kind of sister show to this one, where I actually get to play the band's music on the show. Still working out how to do that here without spending my own money doing it. But yes, anyway, yeah, just a couple of plugs there. Also, use my sponsors you heard at the beginning of the show. That would be fantastic if you could do that. But anyway, without further ado, this is JT from the band Famous Last Words. I'd like to welcome to this week's show. I have JT. He is the vocalist from the band Famous Last Words. Welcome, JT.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. So, yeah, just so for the benefit of my listeners, can we get some of the origin story of the band?
Yeah, I started this band in 2009. We've gone through 2 name changes and like 20 different member changes to get to where we are now. So yeah, I'm the only original, but it's been a long road. A lot of good times.
Cool. How do you manage that? Obviously, being like the only founding member as such within the band. How does that? Do you get any extra pressures with that, or is it just something you have a vision and you need the people around you that share that vision?
Exactly. I think that's what it is mostly. You got to have people who are just as much in it as you are.
Yeah. Cool. So, Famous Last Words. You've released a couple of EPs or demos prior to this, and an album.
2 albums.
2 albums, sorry.
Yeah.
2 albums. I know you just released an album in August. Was it the instrumental versions of
Two-Faced Charade?
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the theory behind that? I mean, releasing like an instrumental album, obviously that wasn't instrumental originally.
That's kind of funny. We didn't even know it was happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was actually the day that our lyric video for our new song, "The Judge," came out.
Yeah,
and we noticed that on iTunes that In Vogue Records released an instrumental version of Two-Faced Charade. So we just kind of saw it and we're like, oh, gee, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did they explain their reasons behind it, or was it just purely because you're about to release something new that wasn't on In Vogue and they're trying to, I don't know, cash in?
I mean, that could be it, but like it's not just them cashing in. Like we still get a percentage of that album as well. We just had no idea what was happening.
Okay, it just seems strange because you're the vocalist, and to have an album out that doesn't have your voice on it.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no, I just found it strange. That was all. So, okay, cool. So the new album though, The Incubus, which is out on September 30th on Revival Recordings.
Yeah.
Tell me about that album. I've heard a couple of tracks from it. The ones that are available to everyone, the Pretty in Porcelain and The Judge, which we just mentioned. So tell me about the album. Is it got a story running through it, or is each song its kind of own entity?
It does have a story. Our last 2 albums were also concept albums that follow the story. But this one is actually the first time we haven't really given away too much of the story beforehand. But essentially what it's about is a stay-at-home mom in the 1950s, and she starts mysteriously blacking out and having these really horrific nightmares. And we kind of get to see her struggle trying to figure out what's causing these nightmares and why everything is, happening the way it is, while she simultaneously deals with a lot of issues that women dealt with in the early 1950s, post-World War II America, and a lot of that stuff, still going on today. And lately, especially, it's just all over the news. So
yeah,
it was kind of crazy, the timing of this.
Okay, so the tracks that are available to people, let's talk about those. So, Pretty in Porcelain. These are 2 solid tracks, by the way. I love them both. Thank you. They're going to be played on my other radio show as well as this one.
Hell yeah.
This kind of goes out as a podcast and a radio show, and I have another music radio show as well. So I've got multiple outlets. But yeah, no, I really dig them. So, can you tell me a bit about the Pretty in Porcelain track?
Pretty in Porcelain is that's actually her first nightmare track. So in the story, that's her first nightmare that she has, and it's supposed to kind of represent how the album deals with sexual abuse and domestic abuse, and it shows our main characters kind of her vulnerability, but in how she portrays or sees her vulnerability and her helplessness, and it gives you sort of insight into how she's feeling, and that's what that song's about.
Okay, cool. And let's go on to The Judged, that track.
That one is also a nightmare song. And in that one's actually pretty complex if you really dig down into it. The screaming parts are one character, and it's in her nightmare. It's this lawyer. And the singing parts are Christine. And the whole what's going on in this dream is that she's basically on trial for being a rape victim.
Okay.
I know that's super heavy, but that's what it is. And
it happens, to be honest with you.
It happens exactly
now. So
well, that's why we did the album. Yeah. Honestly, first step is getting yourself educated and getting other people educated. But anyways, the song. So in this song, she starts out, and there's 3 pre-choruses before the chorus kicks in, and you can see her development throughout the pre-choruses. How at first she's just scared and confused, and then the second one, she starts sort of realizing that this is kind of fucked up, and then the third one is her fuck this shit moment, her complete over it moment, and it kind of addresses how many victims, when I was doing my research, I read a lot about how victims tend to blame themselves a lot. And it was meant to really show the absurdity of blaming yourself in that situation.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, I look forward to hearing the rest of the album when it is out, which is, as of recording this, is out next week on the 30th. Yep. This may air after it's out, so get it now.
Get it now.
So yeah, what are your plans basically in support of this album? I know you've got like a bunch of dates lined up. Have you got anything else on top of that, or are you just kind of like waiting for stuff to confirm?
We have that Alice Anna run that starts the day before our album comes out, but that's just a 2-week run.
Yeah. And
after that, we have some things that we're planning and working on, but nothing has been 100% confirmed yet. Okay. So, yeah. Cool. But there'll be more. We'll be out there.
Excellent. So I've got a couple of questions left for you, just to sort of tie this up. So your 3 top albums, this is more about you, your 3 top albums that influence you or have influenced you to become the musician stroke person that you are today.
The Used, Taste of Ink.
Cool.
My Chemical Romance, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. That was they were touring that album, and that was the first show I ever saw. So that was a big one. That kind of was like, all right, that's what I want to do.
Is that where the name came from?
That actually isn't where the name came from. I stopped listening to them after that album, ironically enough. I didn't really ever listen to the Black Parade all the way through.
I was just curious because I've heard that album many times and I know that song. And it just popped in my head when I heard the name of your band. And I was just curious.
It does for a lot of people. And at first, when people were like, "Oh, I thought this was My Chemical Romance," I really didn't know why. and then I found out. I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense." And then the last one, I wouldn't even say it was an album. I'd say Phantom of the Opera, the musical.
Okay, cool. A bit of theatrics in there as well.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Oh yeah.
Does that obviously you've created concept albums, but your stage show, are you sort of like telling the story as such on stage, or is it? No,
not yet.
Not yet.
When we start doing like the CDs and playing those live from the first song to the last song, that's when I would really like to get into a real big stage production, but not quite yet. We're getting there.
Nice. No, I always like that in some bands where they have that aspect to them that you can see it almost play out on stage at small stages, but then you want to see it on a big stage.
Yep.
So you have that in you. So yeah, good luck with that.
Thank you.
It's always a good one. I always love watching those shows. I've seen like the likes of like Meatloaf and stuff like that. I've seen live and watching that whole production go ahead, watching him.
It's so cool.
Transform into various characters and stuff like that for each song, and and just have that running on there. I always enjoy it. Always adds an element. Like Alice Cooper as well has that running through his show.
Yeah, it's pure entertainment.
Exactly.
Not just a show, like not just a band.
Exactly. There's a lot more going on. So cool. So what are your when you're not in the band, when you're not doing band related stuff? What are your hobbies away from the music? I
have a 7-year-old daughter. So that takes up a lot of my time.
That's a hell of a
hobby.
And
then, it's a hell of a hobby. But she's awesome. She's in 2nd grade. Just started this year in 2nd grade.
Cool.
And also, we all still work jobs when we're home. So I'm working a lot, and that's I work at an alternative high school tutoring math, actually.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I do. I'm dad, and I do math.
Cool. How do you juggle the dad side of it with the touring and the music side of it? Is it? I know it's not easy. I've got two children myself, and I've come from a musical background as well. I was just wondering how you felt about that side of things.
It's hard. It's definitely hard, but she's super supportive. And when I'm home, we hang out all the time, and then on the road, it's really just about keeping up communication, like FaceTiming helps a lot. I mean, it's not like being there, but it's definitely second best. And I'm glad that we, live in an age where I can actually do that.
Yes. Yeah, that was one thing for
I'm
me.
fortunate. Yep.
Go on.
No, I'm just saying I'm very fortunate to have that and be able to still see her and talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah, no, technology is fantastic when it comes to that kind of thing. So that's all good. So finally, where can people reach, where's the best place to reach your band?
That would be facebook.com/famouslastwordsmusic. We usually try to respond to anybody asking us any questions or whatever. And if you're looking for the album, we have a ton of bundles up on famouslastwords.merchnow.com. And then it's also on Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, pretty much anywhere digitally. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you going to have physical copies of the...
We sure are.
Excellent. Cool. So, everyone, check out the album, The Incubus, by Famous Last Words. It's out on the 30th of September. Available everywhere via all good digital stockists. And the band's website as well, the Merch Now site, which I'll put in the show notes and everything as well, so people can click on that
thank you.
And get all that. So, yeah, JT, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Good, no worries. Good luck with the album. And
thank you.
Yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too, man.